Yo guys, welcome back. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately there's a new very strong engine coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! And obviously then also to Master Duel. This will be even stronger than the Diabellstar engine that we had, because it's the Fiendsmith engine, and I will show you today what this can do, especially in, of course, Snake Eyes, your favorite deck, how it can make the deck way better, depending on whether you start with a Snake Eye engine or you can also start with your Fiendsmith stuff. I will explain this to you, and you can be sure that this engine will dominate, will be the next big thing, the next big engine after the Diabellstar and the Snake Eyes engine to dominate the game. This can be splashed in a lot of decks. Some people playing it in Voice, people are playing it in Duel. So if you are playing Fiends, then obviously it's better because the name already says it, Fiendsmith, Unchained, for example, but this also works in other decks. It's even more splashable than was the Diabellstar engine, so let me show you what this can do for Snake Eyes in particular, which once again has this deck made basically tier 1 or close to tier 0 in the OCG meta, where before nobody was really playing Snake Eyes, but now they do because of the Fiendsmith stuff. So we have a normal summon Snake Eye Ash, and you know the drill. I will explain the Fiendsmith cards, not really the Snake Eyes cards. We at the Poplar can now add, in this case, the Temple, and the next card we will see is a new card that is not as new as the Fiendsmith cards, but also a new card that's very nice for the Snake Eyes deck that we will also get probably quite soon, the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. When attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can place this card from the field and that opponent's monster face up in their owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Really nice to remove bodies from your opponent's field if you can't out them anyways, or in other ways, I should say. Also, I personally really like, and this is what I like about Snake Eyes, I have to say, I really like this mechanic of putting stuff in the spell trap zone, where this card is a continuous spell, like in this case here. We can target one fire monster in our graveyard, except this one, and place it in its owner's spell trap zone as a continuous spell, and if you do, special summon this card. So really cool. If this is a continuous spell trap, this can become an extra body, and this will also set another fire monster instead of itself in the spell trap zone. Very nice, and one of the best new targets that you can get with the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. This is also a spellcaster, which gives you a very easy line into an Appaloosa with your sit-in. Then we are going to activate Snake Eyes Ash here, summon an Oak. Oak can now revive the Ash. We can now go for the next play, and here comes the first new card, which is not really a Fiendsmith card, but we needed to get from our Snake Eye engine into our Fiendsmith engine. This is Moon of the Closed Sky. Not really important what the effect is, because we won't need it here. This is only needed because this is a light Fiend monster. This is why we need this. We will see another light Fiend monster in the other combo I will show you. Now we can activate Poplar's effect to bring back Diabellstar in the spell trap. Diabellstar can now be activated to bring back Poplar in the spell trap and summon itself to the field and attack position. We can now activate the Oak, send away the Poplar to get the Flamberge Dragon. And the next thing we are going to do is link off our light Fiend here for the first Fiendsmith card, Fiendsmith Requiem, link one. Link 1 always strong, obviously. We need one light Fiend monster, which is why we needed the Moon of the Closed Sky. This we will also get in the future in Master Duel, obviously. And this says, during the main phase, quick effect, you contribute this card, a special summon one Fiend, a Smith monster from your hand or deck. Alright, this is what we are going to do next. Tribute the sarcophagus, basically, to summon the Fiendsmith with the sarcophagus on his back. The lore is very interesting. It's like a guy that hunts fiends and then basically employs them so that they can hunt other fiends. So we have the Fiendsmith, which is basically like Diabellstar. You can see him like Diabellstar. He's the core of this engine, the Fiendsmith engine, obviously, which has 1/8 attack, 2 for defense, so a very nice body here. Level 6, which is very important if you can get 2 of the Fiendsmith to the field, and we will see this in a moment. Then you can make a level 6 XYZ, and there are very good ones that you can go for. You can discard this card, add one Fiendsmith spell trap from your deck to your hand, which is normally not what you will do with this. You can add one Fiendsmith equip card you control and one monster on the field, send them to the graveyard. Also nice. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light Fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck, extra deck, special summon this card. So this card can also be special summoned by bringing the light Fiends that, for example, we already have in the graveyard back. We have the Fiendsmith on the field right now. Next thing we are going to do is make a link to into another Fiendsmith card that you will see a lot, the Fiendsmith Sequentia. 2 monsters, including a light Fiend monster, which is our Fiendsmith here. During a main phase, you can fusion summon one Fiend, a fusion monster from your extra deck, so fusion summoning by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. That's nice because we can now use our materials here, the Requiem, the Closed Sky, and the Fiendsmith, shuffle them back to fusion, summon into our, and let me first shuffle them back, Fiendsmith back to the deck, the Requiem here, the Moon of the Closed Sky there. Now we have a Fiendsmith, these are Rei. This needs the Fiendsmith plus 2 light fiend monsters. Quick effect, you can negate the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field up to the total link ratings of the link monster equipped to this card until the end of this turn. So monster negate here as a quick effect, very nice, but it's only a monster negate quick effect if it has something that is equipped to it. So this is what we are going to do next. We are going to link away into our Promethean Princess. Obviously we can now trigger the Flame Birch Dragon and can now activate the Promethean Princess to bring back the Flame Birch Dragon, and can now activate in the graveyard the second effect of Sequentia, which says you can target one a non-link light fiend monster you control, so our fusion monster here, equip with this card from your graveyard or field to that monster you control as an equip spell. With this effect, your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects. So not only is this now a quick effect, negate 2 monster effects, this is also untargetable by card effects and has a big stat line that will protect it. So we have not a single monster negate, but a double monster negate. And the funny thing is that we can use this right now to negate our own Promethean Princess. Remember, Promethean Princess locks us into fire, which means that we can now go for an IP Masquerena with our 2 little snake eye bodies, because we are no longer locked into fire because the effect is negated for this turn. Then we can use our Promethean Princess and the IP Masquerena to go into Appaloosa for 2, and then obviously use our Flame Birch Dragon to set the IP Masquerena. And now we have a very strong field of 2 monster negates, 2 more monster negates. We have the Princess in the grave, we have the Flame Birch Dragon for follow-up that can also bring out the IP Masquerena, the Temple can also do that, and then we can also go into an SP Little Knight, and this was all of 1 Snake Eye Ash together with the Fiendsmith engine that will definitely bring new life back into the deck. And obviously the problem that we have now with Snake Eyes is we have Snake Eye Ash at 1, we have Wanted at 1, but the Fiendsmith engine solves this problem by giving this deck more and new waves of consistency. And I will now show you what you can also do if you basically open with the Fiendsmith engine, because in this combo we have opened with the Snake Eyes engine. Okay, so now let's take a look at it. What can we do if we have the Fiendsmith, the starter of the engine, basically? How can this help us? Why is that so important now that Snake Eye Ash and Wanted is at 1? The Fiendsmith engine, no problem here. We have 3 of him in the deck. We can go ahead and activate him to discard himself, and then add 1 Fiendsmith, a spell and trap to our hand. We get the Fiendsmith Tractors, which says add 1 light fiend monster from our deck to a hand, and then we can discard 1 card, and then we can also banish this card from our graveyard to fusion summon, but not important in this combo here. We're going to activate this, add an old card, the Fabled Lurry, which is the light fiend monster, which says if this card is discarded to the graveyard, we can special summon it. We need to discard something now, so we discard the Lurry here. Remember, we only have the 1 card. The Lurry can now activate to summon itself, and this is also a light fiend monster, and you remember the last time where we made the Moon of the Closed Sky here, so we could go into our Fiendsmith Requiem. Now we also have a light fiend monster, so this is what we are going to do next. Link 1 into the Fiendsmith Requiem, which we can now activate to summon another Fiendsmith from our deck, and then we can go activate the effect of Fiendsmith in the graveyard to shuffle back the Fabled Lurry into the deck and summon the Fiendsmith from the graveyard. Now we have 2 level 6 bodies. In theory, you could now go ahead, we are now going to go for the link to the Sequentia that can fusion summon. We are going to do this, in this case shuffling back the Requiem and 1 of the Fiendsmith for another fusion card of the Fiendsmith archetype, the Lacrimosa. 2 light fiend monsters, monsters your opponent controls lose 600 attack, okay. And then we have, if this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 light fiend monster in the graveyard or banishment, either add it to your hand or special summon it. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle 1 other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck, extra deck, inflict a 1/2 to your opponent, which can be nice if you play a tournament and want to burn in time here. But we can now activate the effect to bring back a Fiendsmith, and now we have 2 level 6s on the board. And with these, we could obviously also just make, I will show this in a moment, a Caesar, a Wife King Caesar, if you already have your Snake Eye starter into your hand, for example, because the Caesar, if you're making with these 2 guys here, can then protect you against Nibiru, and then you can start playing your Snake Eyes line, because we have not yet normal summoned, and we will not normal summon in this entire combo. So if you have any follow-up in the hand or any Snake Eye stuff in the hand and you just want to protect yourself, you can just do it with these guys into a Caesar. But if we don't have access to the Snake Eye engine, that's no problem, because we can get access. We can now just make a Beatrice here. I messed this up with the overlay. The bodies are under the Beatrice. You now activate the Beatrice. Beatrice is on the field, and only the Fiendsmith would be in the grave. I messed this up a bit here. To dump now a card from our deck to the graveyard, we are dumping the Snake Eye Ash, and now we have a Link 2 and a third body, which means we can go into our Promethean Princess here. Obviously, Promethean Princess can now revive Snake Eye Ash effect to add Poplar to our hand. And now we are into our Snake Eye engine, right? So we can either start with Snake Eye, go into Fiendsmith, or we can start with Fiendsmith, go into Snake Eye, activate Poplar, go into the Temple. We are going to play the Temple. That sets the new, I've talked about her already, Snake Eye's Diabellstar, which is very, very nice. Then we can go Snake Eye Ash, send away this one and the Promethean Princess, because we need to get rid of the Fire Lock at some point. We are going to go Oak. Oak resummons the Ash. At this point, we can use these two to go into an IP Masquerena. Next, we are going to use the Poplar because it was sent to the graveyard to reset itself to the Spell Trap. We are going to activate Oak, send away the Poplar, send away the Oak for our Flamberge Dragon. And the cool thing is, in this combo, we don't even need to use the Flamberge Dragon, so we can keep it on the field. Even if we get Nibiru here, we still have the two bodies of the Flamberge Dragon. We won't need to use him here because what you can now do is go ahead, Snake Eyes Diabellstar, put the Oak in the Spell Trap for follow-up to summon it out of the Temple, for example. Then this comes to the field. Now we can go into our Selene, what I talked about already, which is very nice because this is a spellcaster. We can activate Selene and then bring back the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, going next to Apollousa here with two counters basically. And we have not yet used the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, so if for some reason your opponent nips you at some point before the Apollousa, of course, then you can still get your bodies back and continue your plays. You have your Promethean Princess in the grave, you have your Flamberge Dragon, which can get follow up via the Oak, and obviously I think I forgot in this replay to set the IP Masquerena with the Flamberge Dragon in the Spell Trap zone, but yeah, this is also happening. I did not forget it. You know, you have the IP Masquerena, so it's basically the same field as we had before, but minus this effect negation guy here. So starting with the Snake Eye engine is better, but you can also just start with the Fiendsmith stuff and then go into a complete Snake Eye engine via the Beatrice and just with the Fiendsmith. So bringing Snake Eye Ash to 1 and bringing the Wanted to 1 doesn't really matter if you just introduce another engine that can do it even better than the Diabellstar engine, honestly. This board is better than a board would be that starts with Diabellstar. So yeah, prepare yourself for more Snake Eye action, for more Snake Eye shenanigans in the future. This deck will not die for a long time, unfortunately. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think of this. Do you think this will be very toxic for the game? What is your opinion? Maybe we will see a hit on the Beatrice here. Who knows? That would obviously make this a bit worse than we needed. We would need to go for the Caesar, for example, and then we would need follow-up. So banning the Beatrice would basically say, okay, we can't use this to get into our Snake Eye engine, but we will see. I think the Fiendsmith engine will nevertheless be strong even without the Beatrice here. But let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for being here. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.